So, hi everyone. I'm so excited that you are here at Inbox Zero, the Masterclass. This has been something that I have been very excited about for a very, very long time. I did my first masterclass last month and I wanted to revamp it a little bit and just do inbox information. And a lot of you had come to me asking about tips and tricks and ideas. So I just kept sharing it. So might as well do a masterclass all about it. And let's be very honest, this is how most people feel like when you talk about your inbox. You do not even like thinking about your inbox. You probably have that one specific inbox where just even thinking about it gives you palpitations. And you would just rather not even mess with that inbox. You would rather just stay the way that it is. Or you're someone that probably already had something completely organized and then the pandemic happened and all of a sudden it just went into complete chaos. And so hopefully after this presentation you have some new tricks up your sleeve, something to really help you just feel so much better about being in your inbox and not feeling like you have nothing going on in your inbox. So this is me. I am Oh my gosh, I've been talking this whole time unmuted. I am so sorry. I did not even know that. So basically what I was saying is you want to ask yourself these questions when you are working on the flow of things. So once you figure out how to um, what you want to do, how you want the flow to look, how you want everything to look, that is how you will get everything to come together. And so basically, the next part that I was at is that we will be turning your inbox from here to zero. Once you get the work done, it's done for. It's going to be so automated that it won't even be something that you're thinking of in the back of your head. Um, And so you're going to want to take your time too, because once you do it, you're going to completely forget that you made it. Not saying that you'll forget about the folders, but you'll forget that with this email, you wanted to go to this folder. And so you're going to go looking for it in your main inbox, and it's going to be in your new folder, or it's going to go in the multi inbox and it's going to be closed and you're not going to remember where it goes. So there's no need to rush this process. Take your time, especially if you have multiple emails. um, you're just going to want to take your time, because once you figure it out for one, it takes less time to set up the other emails, and then you're just going to feel so good after that. And make sure you feel comfortable. No matter what I say tonight, it's still your email. It's still however you want it. So if I say something and you're like, that's not me, but you want to twist it, change it around, do that, because honestly, that is what's important, because it's not my email. It's your email. It's how you want it to be. And that is honestly what's important. So, um, hold on, I'm admitting something that someone that just came in. And so now we're going to get into the nitty gritty of everything. So let's talk about next steps. I promise you, everything that I'm going to tell you is something that is going to be helpful. It's something that I personally am doing for myself and for my clients. We all love it. It makes our lives so much easier. So, first step, rule of thumb, if you haven't opened the email or the subscription for the last 2 months or more, let it go. Because I feel like a lot of times we have so many unread emails. But if you, and something that my mom and my dad have always said, if you're not thinking about it until you go and clean up and you find it, it's not that important. And a lot of times we get so excited about subscribing to that email, that website, because they're giving a discount and you got the discount you wanted, and you're getting that email forever. So, rule of thumb, just let it go. I promise you, it's not worth it just to keep it going forever and ever and ever. So, let's create a folder. So, I'm going to show you step by step on how you create a folder and how useful folders can be if this is something that you want to use. So when creating a folder, or label as Google and Yahoo will call it, you'll want to scroll all the way down in the sidebar and go to where it says create new label. And once you find that, it'll show up with a label that says create new label. Basically, you can name it whatever you want. You could have business, you can have personal, you can have whatever you want as the folder name. And if you have a main folder and then you want a subfolder, you want to have like another folder under that, that's where the nesting comes in, and you can create the label and put it under. Let me know if that makes sense. Unmute yourself if what I just said did not make sense at all. I do have clients that love folders. They will have specific folders for a specific business that they get contact information from. Or if it's for me, I have clients, anytime that a client emails me, it goes specifically in their folder because I don't want to get it lost in my main inbox. Or, for example, when I get invoices, I have invoices go into their own folder so that I don't miss out on paying one. Or when I even send my own invoices, I don't want to miss that either. So that's how I use folders in my own way. So are we good with that? Do we need to take a minute for questions, or are we good with folders? Great. Good, good, good. And again, guys, like I said, if I'm talking too fast and you're taking notes, I'm gonna have this sent as a replay. But you guys do have me, so please ask any questions that you have. No question is a dumb question. Especially when it comes to this, especially when you're figuring out the flow of how you want things to go, these steps are very important. So if you're not feeling a folder, but you want many inboxes, this would be the step that you're doing. So, like I said, I may lose you for a minute, but stick with me. So, basically, how Gmail and Yahoo have it is where you just have one major inbox, or how they also have it is they have the main inbox, the promotional inbox, and then something else. With a multi inbox, you can create whatever inboxes you want. You can have one to where it's action items that you want actioned immediately. It could be items like newsletters that you just want out of your main inbox into its own little inbox that you can read later. Things like that. So it's you creating your own little mini inboxes instead of using the inboxes that Google will make for you. So this one, a little bit trickier to make and a little bit more manual. But if you aren't wanting to miss the emails because they're automatically going into the folders and you still want to have manual control over where the emails go, this is exactly the one that you're going to want. So from here, you would find the gear icon on the top of your Google area, and you would scroll down until you find the area that says multi inboxes. You're going to click customize, and then where it shows the customization box, this is where you would need to be specific on the icons you want to use because that is very important. You have to put has with the semicolons and then whatever icons in front of it. This one says green, but it's supposed to be green star. And I have that as an action now. Blue star means it's read later inbox, and orange star means newsletter. I didn't pick these in any particular order. I just kind of put them in that order. And I'm going to show you what it looks like afterwards, but I wanted to stop and see if anyone had any specific questions about the multi inbox right now before I continue going. You can also unmute yourself. Don't feel like you can't unmute yourself and ask your question. It doesn't have to be just in um, the chat box. Okay, so if we are good, you're probably wondering, but how do I pick the icons I want? Good question. You will want to go into the general settings section of Gmail, and you're going to scroll down until you see the icons here. You can use any of the icons shown to do your multi-inbox. So again, the key is when you're doing the multi-inbox, you have to put has, semicolon, and then whatever the icon is. So like I had before in the previous one, I said has green star, that will be in the action inbox. Has blue star, read later. Has orange star, will go into newsletter. So because I'm telling it, as long as it has this icon next to the email, it will go into that multi inbox. So say you want to use the check mark. All you have to do is put has semicolon green check mark. And then once you put that icon onto the email, it will go immediately into that multi inbox so you can archive that email. I have clients that love this because then once they see the email that's important, they can archive it without missing it. So they've acknowledged the email that's there, they've acknowledged that it's in the multi inbox, they've acknowledged whatever they've needed to do, and then they can get it out of the multi inbox. Excuse me, you can always keep it in the multi inbox. That is just something you can do forever and get it out of your main inbox so it doesn't get lost in there if that's where you usually go for your email. So this is what it'll look like once you've completed those steps. So as you can see here, since I've clicked, so right here where it says inbox and it shows the stars next to it, you click that in the order that you put it in. So for me, as I know that the green star is the action one, that's going to be the first star that shows up. Once I click it twice, that will bring up the blue star for the email. And then once I click it 3 times to bring up the orange star, it goes into the multi inbox. As you also can see, these emails aren't showing up over here because what I've done is I've archived them from the main inbox to only show up in the multi inbox. I'm going to pause because I feel like that was a lot. And if anyone has any specific questions about that, let me know. I know this one can be a little bit more manual, a little bit more thought into it. And so hopefully me showing this helps. But if you do have any specific questions, you can go ahead and ask. I guess this means I'm doing a good job if no one has questions. Or you guys probably are like, it's okay, we're just gonna get the replay, it's fine. So now that you've figured out whether or not you wanted, um, whether you wanted, oh, hold on. Okay, cool. That's also fine too. If you guys, that's why I'm taking the time to stop and pause in case you guys are doing it and you get stuck somewhere and you're feeling like you get stuck somewhere and you have a question. That's why I'm pausing. I was hoping that you guys would be interactive in working on this at the same time. But again, if not, you're getting the replay. You will definitely be able to see all of this information again in the replay. So hopefully everything that I'm showing you is helping you kind of get through that process, figure out what you want, seeing the different options that you have. And as you guys can see, you can have a total of 5 multi-inboxes. So you can use all 5 and you can put the icons you want in that order that you want to use it. And that's my best suggestion. If you're going to use multi-inbox and whatever order you have for the multi-inbox, put your icons in the exact same order, because then with repetition, you'll already know how to get to where you want to. And that just helps out so much more in the end. And we're here. Now then, let's actually create a filter. So now you figured out whether or not, if you want to do the multi-inbox, the filter won't really help. It won't be able to distinguish between the different icons, which is why you have to click through it. So if you are going through the process of doing the folders and you want them to move to that specific folder, these would be the steps that you would want to take. So I've picked an email for an example. I picked an Etsy email. I've decided, you know what, I'm going to create a filter for this Etsy email. I love them, but I got to do something with them. So this is how step by step you create a filter. What you will do is you will pick an email. You will go and you will click on this little gear icon over here that shows like, I guess a volume sign is what I call it. It almost reminds me of like the little DJ sign that they have to like bring up and down the volume and whatever they're doing. So first step, select the email that you want to create the filter for, copy and paste that email into the search bar, and then click this little gear icon here. Once you do that, this picture will show up next. You won't do anything on this slide. What you will do is immediately go to the bottom of the screen and you will click create a filter. Now this next page has a lot of different things you can do with the filter. So I'm going to walk through all of it. So basically, with this filter, you can make endless things for each and every email. What I personally do is the first thing I will always do is click skip the inbox. Now, unless it's one of those things where I don't want it missed in the inbox, then I won't click skip the inbox. But I always check my folders, especially when it comes to customers and clients. So I always click skip the inbox. If you could honestly click whatever you want in this particular section, so you can make sure that anytime that email comes through, mark it as read. You can apply a label. So the folders that you just made, they also are called label. You can have it skip the inbox and say go to a newsletter folder or go to a personal folder. Or if you're doing a client email, you can have it go to the client folder. You can do that as well. If you have another email that you want it forwarded to, you can add the forwarding address there. If it's one of those emails that you've unsubscribed to 10 million times and for some whatever reason it just keeps coming back, you can have it skip the inbox and delete it forever. So that will never come in your inbox. The email it'll start processing that an email is coming through and it'll automatically delete it. That's it. It's gone forever. If you do decide later that you don't want it deleted, you will have to go back and delete the filter. Then never send to spam. So basically you can always do this, have it marked as important, categorized. And then the best thing about it is once you've picked the email and you've figured out where you want it to go, if you click this last one that says also apply to blank matching conversations, it'll find every same email from no matter how far out, like even 2015, 2016, if you have a million of those emails, you can click that one and this filter will take care of existing emails into new emails. So that's why I love using filters. Filters are my absolute favorite things. They really make it so simple, especially when you're trying to mass clean. When you're trying to mass clean and you're using filters, especially to delete emails, it's amazing. I love it. Um, and I hope you love them too. Does anyone have any questions about filters? Or was that kind of just like mind blowing information of, wow, I can't believe it's that? Like, once you start doing it and really just like breaking it down, it is absolutely amazing. If no one has specific questions, I think this is one of the last few slides. Yep. Once you decide, you just have to execute, which is why I did send you the freebie. That freebie allows you to just figure out if you want to keep the email or not. And once you make that decision and you use a filter or use the multi inbox, that's it. You have it all figured out. And the email inbox that you don't want to go into, you can now confidently go into. You can clean it up, which the initial setup might take some time, just because you really want to sit down and figure out where the email wants to go, which email you want to get rid of forever, which emails are going to come through. And of course, whenever new emails come in, you'll have to create a new filter. But once you create the filter or you create the inbox, it's there forever. And I think just the amount of tools that are in there when it comes to cleaning up the email is very important, which is why I mentioned don't rush the process when it comes to cleaning up your inbox, because it's gonna be frustrating sometimes. You're still continuously getting emails, so when you're cleaning it up and you feel like you made process, and the next morning you wake up and there's 100 other um, emails coming through. That's just how it is. And so I've even had that happen to myself. And so just know that you will get to the end goal that you want. If it's legitimate inbox zero, you can get there once you get a strategy going and you figure out where your emails are going, which way. It honestly it'll come to you like that. Like, you'll wake up in the morning half asleep, still knowing what you're doing in your inbox. But I wanted to take this time to ask if anyone had specific questions. Did I go too fast on something? Was there something that I missed that you wanted me to touch on? I feel like with those three, those are the bigger topics. And of course, deleting emails and all of that, most people know. But once you figure out how to create a filter, how to create a folder, what is even a multi inbox, most people don't even know about that. And once they figure that out, um, it just makes life so much more simpler to find emails.
I don't have any questions. I mean, one of my clients asked me to do this, and I couldn't because it was a little complicated. So I did reach out and ask you a couple of questions, but I think I might be able to do this for them. We'll see.
It takes time, and of course, like, that's why I always do it on my email first. Like, I try to just do mine first, just to kind of get that confidence going. Like, you're still gonna have I still have, not, I won't say discomfort, but I still get a little nervous doing my own clients because it's still their inbox. So they're kind of instructing us on what they want us to do. But they came to you for a reason. Like, they know that you have the skill or you're learning the skill, and they want to give you a chance. And so as long as you go in confidently knowing that you will mess up at some point, you are always learning something. So there is never a right or wrong thing to do. Um, oh no, what is it doing? I did not mean to do that. Oh boy. It's telling me I have 10 minutes left, which is fine. There's not much left after this. So let me get back to my presentation that I was doing. Gosh darn Zoom, always being complicated. But basically what I was saying is that anytime that you're working on client work, I even, like, in almost 6 months, I've been working with a client for half a year, and we even mentioned that and laugh about it. But she's gotten so confident in me, and I still have what is the word? I won't say discomfort, but sometimes I don't have a lot of confidence that she has in me. So whenever you're working on client work, just be honest with them, but also just be like, you know what, I can do this. I know I can do this. I'm gonna have some trial and errors, but you know what, I can do this. And I think that's really just where it pans out to be. But what if you learned all of this, you love it, you're feeling for it, but what if I could tell you that you could just pay someone to do it for you? Like I feel like that's always the option. You love what you learned, and you probably am like, I want that. But you either A, don't have time for it, or B, you'd rather just somebody else do it, learn what they did, and keep it going. Which brings up the one-time service that I have. I will do all of it for you. I have it at $400. I do not put a cap on how many emails are in there. I have helped people that only had 2,000 emails in there, and I've helped people that have had 30,000 emails in there. I do not put a cap on it because everyone is at different levels of where they are in their email life. And so I will do it however you want. If you want me to free roam and figure out the best way to clean up your email, I will absolutely do that. If you have a specific way that you want it and you tell me this is what I want, I will do that for you one time. That is it. And once I'm done, I hand it right back over to you, and that's it. And I just love this because I know a lot of people just want someone to fix it that one time and get it right back to where it was. And then I'm gone in a flash. Like I'll say hi, but you don't need me for month to month services. And I think just doing this is perfect. And so that is it, guys. That is my entire presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you took something out of this. I'm hoping that it was something to give you that confidence to go jump in and do your email. Um, but yeah, I really love this, guys. You can tell I'm very passionate about this. And I will always, always, always probably be doing a whole bunch of master classes about this because I could talk about this for hours. I was trying to keep this for 30 minutes because that was the goal. I know we had some technical issues, but thank you guys so much for doing this with me. And I'm going to stop the recording.